How are you, buddy? Today is the 1st of November, 2025, and this is my daily mood journal. Um, plus, plus, you know what I mean? Like Disney Plus, daily mood journal plus. Today, plus forgiveness and family. But we're going to start the show as we do, or as we have been every show. It seemed to work. Um, with a gratitude check in. Before we get into the mood journal, we like to look around, be grateful, make sure that we start our day with gratitude to change, kind of like our whole thought pattern. And at least that's what I've been trying to do. So, um, what's one thing I'm grateful for today, not yesterday, or in general? Um, Today, I'm grateful. It's going to be, I think, my son and daughter, it was Halloween last night. We went trick or treating. And so today, I'm grateful for the fact that all went well. My son got to go stay the night at his buddy's house and go trick or treating with just his friends, for a little bit. There was the first part of it where the parents were, me and my wife and I were with him. But then as we let them go on their own. And he's at an age now where we were somewhat comfortable with that. So everything turned out fine. So I'm grateful for that. Um, I'm grateful for, you know what? People do this all the time. In this, not this, but like they say that they're grateful. It can be as simple, just be grateful for coffee. You know what I mean? It can be as simple as being grateful for um, your next breath, whatever. And I think what they're trying to say is just the fact that you're checking in and sitting down and saying, "This is what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for um, these Swedish fish that were left over. I'm grateful." Just the fact that you're sitting down with yourself and changing your thoughts to things that you're thankful for. Um, Rewires your brain is what they say. I'm hoping that it works because that's why we do our gratitude check-in at the beginning. The next question, who has shown me patience or understanding lately? Well, that's those who have stuck with me have all shown me that. So my in-laws and my wife, those were the ones that after my last episode really showed understanding and the patience they have to. I mean, because some days it's like yesterday, I knew I was off, but some days you don't even know that you're being difficult until either somebody points that out to you or, you know, um, you just kind of reflect on it. You're like, oh man, I was kind of, you know, stupid that day or whatever the feeling is. I say that about myself, but um, so patience and understanding, it has to be my in-laws and my wife that have shown me that. My siblings, I come from a big family and I've got a lot of siblings, but not all of them have been involved in this whole 3-year odyssey of my new disorder, my new battle. So for the ones that have, they've shown the patience and understanding, but um, that's what we'll talk about later anyways too, the forgiveness and family. So what part of my recovery or self-growth am I thankful for this week? Um, I started doing this mood journal just this week, a daily mood journal. It's a big recommendation. Um, what's up? It's a big recommendation, from doctors and books and stuff. It's like part of your therapy, part of your recovery is journaling and mood journaling specifically for bipolar. And I am much more comfortable or feel that it's easier for me to verbalize my mood, to verbalize how I feel rather than write it down. If I was to answer these questions, if I was writing it down, it'd be one word answers, two-word answers. And by doing this, I can elaborate on how I'm feeling. And so I'm hoping that others can follow along with me, others that maybe are like me and learn better or express themselves better by verbalizing their stuff rather than writing it down. So maybe I can do something like that. What's up, Carson? Thanks for being here, everybody that's watching. And, we're going through this together. So I'll start today. Like, I'm grateful for, because I don't need to do that one. I already did my gratitude check-in. And what part of my recovery or self-growth am I thankful for this week? Like I said, starting this daily mood journal is like hard to do. Like, I didn't want to do it today, and I actually each day I've done it since the first day. If you're like me, like you get super excited about some project, and what's up from Russia? Uh, you get super excited about some project, and after you do you can still be excited after you complete it on that first day, but then the thought hits you after day 2, you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm committing to this on a daily basis." And so, I guess that's why I wanted to do it in the way that I did, because regardless of whether or not I'm recording this or doing it live, it's better. I have to do it. Like, it's part of my prescribed. It's part of my prescription, man. So here I am. And here you are. Thanks for watching. If you're bad at English like our friend from Russia, don't worry about it, dude. So am I. We're going to get to the daily mood journal. So this is where I'll answer the questions. It's just the goal of it is to check in with myself and ground myself in the awareness that I have these moods, I have these feelings. And what I'm shooting for, before we get into it, is lately we've been rating them. I'm going to rate it, 1 to 10, if there is a rating part. I'm going for a 5. I think 5 is my baseline. That's where I want to be. Yesterday I agitated. I felt the electricity and anxiety burning in my stomach a little bit all day. It was concerning. I was thinking that it might be due because I kind of screwed up my sleep the night before that. Last night I went to bed later than usual, but I don't feel as agitated today as I did yesterday. So that's a good thing, because I was kind of worried. I don't want to spiral back up into, because when I don't want to go manic. Right now I'm on the backside of a mania, and I'm having the flashbacks and the crap that happens with that. And I'm trying not to go into my depression. So thanks for being here. So anyways, here's what we're going to do. We're wanting to ground ourselves, though. So yesterday I was a little high. And it also, I think this daily mood journal, the reason you would want to write it down is you can go back to it, you know what I mean? And be like, what was I feeling like last week when I was, going to get groceries? And you kind of look at it like, I was fine. I was a 3 or whatever. And now this time I'm an 8. I don't know. It's just an example. So, how am I really feeling today? Not how I think I should feel. I would say that today I'm really feeling, I put myself, I don't feel depressed. I don't feel particularly motivated, which is, um, hard to, that's hard to get back. Your motivation, your want to, your drive. I think I'm on some pretty heavy medications that affect that on top of just the manic crash that happens for us. So, how am I really feeling today? Kind of unmotivated, pretty tired. I got to bed very late in comparison to what I've been kind of getting to. I needed a better schedule with that. I'm not good at that. It's too fluctuated lately. Um, so that could be throwing me on edge. But I would say how am I really feel? I feel good. Today would be an okay day. Today's a 5 so far. I mean, it's a it's a 10 that I get that I'm grateful. That's always a 10. But checking in, I'm gonna get me 5. I feel okay. Um, what physical sensations match my mood? Tight chest, relaxed shoulders, low energy. These are examples. Yeah, that is I get the sometimes I when I'm ramping up, I get a little tingly. That's a weird sensation. I don't know if it's the medication that I'm on. One of the medications causes a side effect where you feel like kind of like you can't sit still or you know, you're tired, but inside you have to keep moving. It's really exhausting because I do have low energy, but that inside my skin feeling sometimes goes. They actually gave me a medicine to help with that, but I don't remember them, and I don't want to say them if I don't know them. I'm just making it up. So, um, tight chest a little bit. I'd say I have a little bit of anxiety about today. Still going on. One of the Well, I'll just go into the next question. Did anything trigger my emotions this morning? Not a trigger, but kind of thinking about the day that I have ahead of myself and what I'll be doing. It'll be one of those days where I'm isolated by myself, long period of time, and I have a book that I want to read, but the book that I'm working on is one about schizoaffective disorder, and the reason I'm reading that is because I'm kind of not sure if I have that or not. You know, um, there's been a few things that I'm jotting down as I go through this journey that point towards schizoaffective disorder rather than just bipolar. So we'll have to see. I mean, I say that, but I'm also not giving myself. Sometimes I think I'm not giving myself enough grace that I I'm still recovering from the most severe mania I've had especially when it comes to delusions. Next question is, am I moving through a manic wave, a flat spot, or a calm space? I feel like I'm more moving through if it's a valley. Like I'm trying to build if you could picture uh upside down triangle, you know, a valley, dog. I'm not I'm sliding down, but I keep using my little pickaxe to grab myself, and then I keep trying to build a bridge with one hand so I don't go all the way down. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it. So try to make a flat spot, but sometimes holding on and building the bridge and not trying to go down it causes you to be manic, but you're still down, which is what I think a mixed episode is. So just a different way to describe a mixed episode. If I could describe a mixed episode is you're depressed, you're would be even more depressed, but you're hanging on and you're using mania to hang on from going into a depression, and you're using your manic energy to try to build a flat spot. across the valley to build one of those little rope bridges that they have in movies, and I've never seen. Maybe I've seen them in real life, but they're never as intense. Um, it's a mixed episode. What's one thing I can do to stabilize or honor where I'm at today? This, aside from doing a daily mood journal, exercise. I'm really trying to put that off for some reason. Just doesn't. I'm not motivated right now, but if I go get my exercise in, I think that will help. And really, I like listening to books that have to do with, or podcasts that have to do with bipolar disorder and um, the schizo. Like learning more about it sometimes makes me feel more comfortable with it, not as alone with it. So if I'm gonna go be isolated all day doing my job, at least I won't feel alone in my own head. I'll be listening to other people who have a similar head. Um, if my mood today had a weather forecast, what would it be? Like scattered storms with a chance of sunshine, clear skies with fog rolling in later. I would say it's kind of a foggy day with those with the good clouds though, and I guess if my mood today had a weather forecast, what would it be? It would be like um, it's cloudy, but the cool clouds, that you can kind of make shapes out of, and sunshine peeking through. I like it when the sunshine peeks through. Um, okay, so that's the daily mood journal. We got that going on today. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was forgiveness. Forgiveness and family is what we've titled this segment. Forgiveness and family. I don't know how much I want to talk about it, but you can push pretty easily. You can push people away with this disorder and people in your own family. So oh, let's just see what we got here. Forgiveness doesn't always mean forgetting, it means freeing ourselves from carrying the weight. Family can trigger old wounds, but it can also be the mirror that helps us see how far we have come. Am I holding on to resentment that's costing me peace? Um, Sometimes forgiving others is easier than forgiving ourselves. What am I ready to release today? How does forgiveness help me rebuild trust after my manic or depressive episodes? When was the last time I offered compassion to a family member instead of judgment? What would it look like to forgive myself for the ways bipolar? What would it look like to forgive myself for the ways bipolar has impacted my loved ones? So I'm going to kind of go through them again this time, ready to see here. I want to put the forgiveness doesn't always mean forgetting, it means freeing ourselves from carrying the weight. And family can trigger old wounds, but it can also be the mirror that helps us see how far we have come. Am I holding on to resentment that's costing me peace? I'm trying not to. One of the things that I'm really working on is like it's natural for me to want. I'll take all the blame because I want to take all because it's all my fault, But then, or the disease. I want the blame. I want the blame so I can apologize. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody else takes the blame, I can't apologize for them. I want the blame so I can apologize for all of it and hope to be forgiven by that person. But it's like if I know that I just have to ultimately forgive myself, then maybe that's why I want it because I know that I'm strong enough that I'll figure out a way to do that. I haven't done it yet. You know, it's pretty burns in there quite a bit, but I'm working on it and I don't know. So it's like Am I holding on to resentment that's costing me peace? Yeah, I'm not trying to hold on to resentment that's costing me peace, but the memories sometimes that you have are so vivid that even if you thought you forgave yourself for that incident, it comes back to you and you're like, ugh. So, I don't know. Sometimes forgiving others is easier than forgiving ourselves. Yeah, I'd say that that's true. What am I ready to release today? The biggest issue I have is with my old man, with my dad, is that but I don't know when he's going to be ready to accept that I have this disorder. If you can't separate his son from being sick, then which shouldn't, I don't know. I forgave him. One of the things I released is like I had my dad blocked because I had him as part of like the evil empire that I had built in my manic episode, and just took a lot of things that were true and hallucinated and delusional, and they got all mixed together, and a lot of it got taken out on him. But since then, he's wanted kind of like nothing to do with me, and it's sucks because you know that's your dad, but it sucks too because you're sorry that you put him through it, but then you're also have the resentment of, don't you understand that I was manic? Don't you understand that I have this disease? And I don't know if that's ever sunk in for him yet. Like, it's been so recent. It's been a few years, but it's almost like it took me a couple years for it, and it still took this last manic episode to give me a whole different perspective of things. Like, it's really out of my control. So, um, I need the medication um, to help me control it, and I need the right one, and it's real. So, when was the last time I offered compassion to a family member instead of judgment? Like, I'll offer it now. I was gonna say I had him blocked and stuff, but I've unblocked him and I've asked him. I don't know. It's just weird. It's really weird because it's like I have to feel ashamed. I feel ashamed that I got this. So I don't like that. What would it look like to forgive myself for the ways bipolar has impacted my loved ones? Totally forgive myself? Well, it looked like it did, before you get it. Look like you did when you were not sick. It looked like you did when you didn't feel like you'd hurt everybody's feelings by being sick. I still have a memory, kind of. I still have a memory, kind of, that most everyone thought I was weird, but just my weirdness was part of my charm, and, everyone loved me for it. That's what it would look like. But now it's my weirdness has a name. My weirdness has a first name. It's Bipol. You get it. And because my weirdness has a name, and because it's got a stigma, and because it's got its own problems, dog. Uh, it's been harder. So, but today I'm going to say it didn't really get into my mood or energy. I'm 5. I'm going for a 5. I feel like a 5. I forgive myself as much as I forgive myself. I'm going to forgive myself. Let's do our affirmations and get out of here. First affirmation. I forgive myself for what I didn't know before I learned it. Healing my relationships starts with healing my own heart. My family may not understand everything, but I'm learning to meet them with grace. I'm allowed to evolve without guilt, and peace begins when I stop fighting my past. That's tough, but probably very true on all of them. I think my favorite one is I forgive myself for what I didn't know before I learned it. It sounds like something I would say. I forgive myself for what I didn't know before I learned it. What? The hell's he talking about? It's Conrad. He's got bipolar. Oh, I see. He's got bipolar. Um, all right, that's it, everybody. We did a gratitude check-in. We did our daily mood journal. We talked about family and forgiveness and how hard it is to forgive, how easy it is sometimes to forgive others before you forgive yourself, and that you need to heal yourself. And we did our affirmations. That's what I call a perfect show. I don't know if I'd call it a perfect show. Probably I'd have quite a few mistakes, but we're live and we're allowed to make mistakes, okay? We're alive and we all make mistakes. So, I'm going to get out of here. Have an okay day. Don't let your meatloaf be good to yourself. And I'll turn this on.